Okay.
All right, we're rolling. Hello, Luke. I'm Terry McInturff, and our mutual friend Richard Davis has invited me to give you a little tour of the McInturff guitars that comprise part of his big collection. He has a really great collection of my guitars, and well, I'm delighted to have the opportunity to give you a little tour of each one, share some specifications, tones, maybe a few stories here and there. Let's start off with this one. This one has a good story behind it. This guitar was built in January of 1999, and this is based around the McInturff Glory Standard. And in fact, there's a little story behind this one because it's an exact duplicate of the one that I had built some months prior for Mr. Eric Clapton. In terms of specifications, it's an exact duplicate. And it's a good place to start giving you a tour of the basic features of all my guitars. First, all the guitars are set necks. They're glued in, and that helps me achieve my, tone, which is a little bit notable for a little bit of girth in the lower mid-range. It's a very stable way to attach a neck. Nothing there. There's some special stuff happening inside the neck that help it stay straight, and as we go through these guitars, we'll see a lot of pretty inlays and stuff, but I'd like you to know that I look at them as being tools first and foremost. The neck has to be straight, the guitar has to stay in tune, all that good stuff so it can survive the combat conditions out on the road. All right, let's talk about this guitar in particular. It has a 25 1/8 inch scale, which is right in between Gibson and Fender. Gives us the opportunity to be a little bit versatile, touch on both camps tonally. All the pickups on my guitars are custom made for me. Very seldom do I use off-the-shelf pickups. I like to voice the pickups to match the sound of the chassis. The acoustic sound of the guitars is something I pay a lot of attention to as a builder. And if you have the opportunity to play my guitars, you might notice that they have an open, clear sound when they're not plugged in. That's very important to me. So when we choose pickups, I think of them as being microphones, actually. We want them to pick up the sound and the resonances of the wood. These pickups were custom made for me by Steve Blucher at DiMarzio. And many of my guitars from this period featured DiMarzio pickups, but again, they're custom made. As you can see, two full-size humbuckers with a Strat-style single-coil pickup in the middle. We have a master volume and a master tone control. Starting with the neck pickup, this chassis, this design called the Glory Standards, intended to have a very articulate, almost snappy, articulate tone with some warmth and girth to it. We're going to position 2. Middle pickup. See that there's a little bit of a variation there, a little bit of a range of tones. I'm playing through this matchless amp, as you can hear, it's set for a little bit of a crunchy thing. If we were to plug into a twin reverb or something like that, real loud and clear, you'd really begin to hear some of that bottom end coming through. You have to keep this amp turned down a little bit just so we don't overload the microphone. Spurzel locking tuners are a common feature on many of my guitars, particularly those that have a trem, because I don't use locking trems. I've really got it down to the point where unlocking trems that I have made for me work great for all sorts of Jeff Beckish and Jimi Hendrix type use. They really stay in tune well, but the Spurzels help any guitar stay in tune, and I like them a lot. So this is the Glory Standard. It's an exact duplicate, color, specifications, everything, an exact duplicate of the one that I made for Eric, and it turned out quite well. It has a Honduras mahogany back, a Honduras mahogany neck, an East Indian rosewood fretboard with a 12-inch radius arch, and like all my guitars, the neck can be adjusted to be straight within 1/1000th of an inch. The same specification applies for the fret tops. We really want to get the neck as accurate as we can because it has to be a really good tool. Also, it has to maintain those specs out in the field. And we've had no problems with the necks. I'm proud to say that I've built approximately 3,500 guitars and we've not had a single warranty return for anything having to do with the neck. So there's a good introduction right there. And we're going to get the camera operators back on the job here, my friend, and we'll move on to the next piece. You're going to want to pause the camera now. We're going to pause for a break.
Oh, no.